All right, boys, I wanted to quickly recap some things I saw in our last game and what I want to work on in our next game. One, I really appreciated that the goalie gave Colston a lot of opportunities to build out of the back and to use his strong leg. Three ways that Colston did that was one, a big boot down the field. The second one he used a lot was coming up the side and attacking from the side, then bringing it in. And then the last one, which is actually the most team oriented one I saw, was Colston doing a big kick to the three or the two, making it. And as the game went on, I saw the goalie roll out to Jasper, rolled out to Kane a couple times. Kane was wide open, mainly because we were getting pressure immediately on Colston because we kept utilizing him. I actually thought the technique that worked the best was Colston kicking it back to the middle and the goalie going to the middle. I don't know if that's going to work every time. I do think that's the most dangerous part of the field, but because of how hard they were crashing on Colston, that did open up that central area a little bit more. So again, I think the emphasis being, well, and we'll move Colston around. That was fun to try, but we want to have the boys see those spaces and openings. So goalie, if you're playing the goalie, let's always try and find the open player and pass into the corners. One thing I will say, I don't think we had a goal scored against us when we were building out of our half. I actually thought we did a fairly decent job of at least getting to the half or close to it. And maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, DM me, message me. I thought the boys used the edges a lot more. I thought they used their passing a lot more. And I saw us advance at least to the half much better. And that kind of leads me to how I want to work on the attack. Sometimes when we attack, there's one person who's just sprinting for their life. And we did this in the fall too, right? They're just sprinting for their life. They're out racing everyone, trying to get to the goal. And we scored a lot of goals that way, at least towards the later end of the season. And that worked. But I really want to focus as attacking as a team. So when we attack as a team, I really want you to pay attention to three areas. I'm going to draw them out. So the first is our near post. And how do I say this is our near post? Because it's the post closest to where the coach is or where our team is sitting. So here in this case, I'm this little blue guy. I'm the coach. This is our bench. So like our bench players are over here, right? When I say near post, I'm saying the part of the goal where the post is closest to us. And so that area ends up being just this area here where we're trying to occupy the near post. Right here, and you're going to see a little overlap, right? It's kind of what we call the center or like the penalty mark area or like right in front of the goal where you are dead center in the goal or that area. And then you have this far post. Again, farthest from the coach, but it's the post to this goal here, which is kind of this area. So we have three areas when we attack, we're trying to occupy. And that means that we're not just relying on one person bringing the ball up, sprinting for their lives and trying to find a goal. Where we're trying to rely on at least three people. When we attack the goal, I'm going to get our little one here. We want to be bullies. And I know these sizes are way too big for this field, but we want to be bullies. If we go one-on-one, there's a harder chance to score because it ends up being not one-on-one, but then you've got like other players, right, who are trying to interfere. It's like 1-on-3. And good for us when we score. Good job on that. But when we attack, we want to attack all three of those areas. So if 6 here is running, sprinting for his life, and he's coming more centrally, ideally we have other players occupying the near post and the far post. And I'm not saying you're touching the post. That's way too close. You want to be in a position where you can get a pass and take a shot and score. So it might be closer into this box area, but you're not getting so close where you're eliminating yourself from getting a good pass. And then the 6 is taking the central. So in this area, the 6 can shoot it potentially if he has an opening, if the defenders don't defend him. And potentially if it's a hard shot, it's rebounding off and then one of the other two players are putting it up. Now in this formation, I'm hoping that as our wings develop, as the fullbacks, that we'll find ourselves in these corners. And in this corners, we now need not 3 attackers, but 4. Because this 2 is not occupying either one of these spaces. It's just not there. So ideally, right, if he's in the corner, we brought 3 players down who are running with the 2, not just watching, but actively running and looking for a pass from him. So you're not just running and sprinting to a spot. You are running and looking almost like If this was a different kind of football, American football, the two's the quarterback and the 5, 6, and 4 receivers, you're not just standing still, you're running and looking towards the quarterback, waiting for a pass. So in this case, you're looking for a pass. And if the two can cross it across, it gives us 3 opportunities potentially to get someone to get a good strike on the ball and into the goal. Now look, did you notice how I didn't bring the 3 all the way down? Because the 3 is our center back and they're our sweep. So if our 3 gets too close in, we now have this huge area behind us that's covered. Now it's basically the goalie trying to like guard this whole area. So we want the 3 back. That doesn't mean the 3 can't take a shot on the goal. It just means that their shots are going to be with more power and from the back. So like it bounces off or it comes off, 3 could potentially put a rebound in. So that's the idea. Are we occupying all 3? If someone's not occupying one of those 3 positions, unless you're the 3, that center back that I'm asking to be the sweep, you need to be running to those positions. And ideally, as we get good, like as we start to develop what we call trust or chemistry as a team, a player, no matter who the player is, can pass the ball to where he knows someone is going to be running to because we're so consistent. So I never want to hear from a boy, oh, I make that run to the far post every time, no one ever passes to me. Keep making the run. If someone's not making a pass, we'll pull them out of the game and talk to them rather than you, so that because you're making the right play. So try and run and get to a spot on the goal. Now look, because we're committing so many players down and we've only got 1 player back, it really becomes important that 2 things happen when we attack. 1, the ball goes out of bounds. Or maybe there's 3 important things. 1 is we score. That would be the most important. 2nd, the ball goes out of bounds. Or 3, the goalie picks up the ball. In all 3 of those instances, the game slows down. If we score a goal, we don't have to worry about covering back here because we scored, which means we can all kind of trot down and go back to our positions. If the ball goes out of bounds, then unless it's a corner, it's going to go back to the goalie, which takes time. So if you're standing here just waiting for the goalie to pick up the ball or get it from out of bounds to play it in, that's where you're wrong. Because if we've committed so many that as soon as it goes out of bounds or the goalie picks up the ball, we need to be moving back to defend. And so we transition back. Okay. And we'll talk about, and maybe we'll work on that part of the aspect next. But again, goal, we want to occupy the near post, center of the goal, and the far post by at least 3 players. And when the goalie gets the ball or goes out of bounds or we score right, we immediately are coming back. We're not watching. And that's because we're setting up defending again. So we'll see if we can do that in the next game. All right, thanks, boys. Bye.